Hello, Oilers fans. Austin here. Oh my goodness, it has been quite a while. And what the heck is going on in the room? What's going on with my microphone? Oh my goodness, all these changes. Don't worry, folks. Things are going to be back to normal once we get a little bit closer to hockey season. Behind this big green screen, I'm working on some stuff in the background of my office. I've been doing some tidying, some rearranging. So things are going to look a little bit different in my office here once the season starts. The microphone, it's in a different spot because I have completely rearranged my desk situation. So yes, the audio, it's going to sound a little bit different, but don't worry. Again, once the season starts, we are going to be back to normal. Don't worry about that. By the way, how's everyone's summer been? I hope you've all been amazing. I've missed all of you. I know I said that I likely wouldn't take my holiday until August, but I decided to take a little bit of an early holiday from YouTube. I've just been vibing, enjoying the rain because it's been raining here almost every single day. I know a lot of you out east have been enjoying a pretty warm summer, pretty hot and humid, although it is pretty hot and humid here in Alberta now. So what is this video about? How has everyone been? How have I been? How have the Oilers been, right? What's been going on in oil country? There have been a few things that have happened since my last video, which I think was about Curtis Lazar, maybe, or I think it was the Isaac Howard trade. Might have been the last video that I did way back earlier in July. It is now August 1st, so there are a few things that we need to touch base on with the Edmonton Oilers as we get ready for what should be a pretty quick end to the summer and a very quick start to training camp once September hits, and usually captain skates start to take place by the end of August as well. So if you enjoyed today's video, if you missed me, if you're tuning in for the first time in a while, if you've never tuned in before, just make sure you smash that like button. It goes a long way in supporting the channel. And yeah, let's just talk about what's been kind of going on in oil country. There hasn't been any too big of news stories as of late, but there are a few things that we do have to talk about. First things first, though, let's take a look at the offseason so far. A quick little recap here. Players that are in since the summer started. Isaac Howard, the Oilers acquired him from the Tampa Bay Lightning. Curtis Lazar signed as a free agent. And Andrew Mangiapane, that was kind of the quote-unquote big fish that the Oilers went out and signed to hopefully play in the top six and help score some goals, because the Oilers have lost a lot of goal scoring this offseason. Evander Kane gone to Vancouver. Victor Arvidsson gone to Boston. Connor Brown, New Jersey. Corey Perry is in LA. John Klingberg, I think San Jose. And Jeff Skinner, I don't remember where poor old Jeff Skinner signed. Maybe San Jose as well. Someone's going to have to fact check me on that. I'm going to miss Connor Brown, of course. We are no longer going to be able to do the hat trick for Connor Brown, and I will buy his jersey. So I'm going to have to find a new player to kind of put that on the shoulders of. Maybe it'll be Kapanen. I think Kapanen's going to be the guy where if he gets a hat trick this season in a game, I will get a Kasperi Kapanen jersey. But we're gonna sort that all out. We're gonna sort the memes out and the jokes and all that fun stuff once the season starts. What is left for the Oilers to do now? Well, obviously, they still have to sign Connor McDavid. They did get the Evan Bouchard deal done, $10.5 million per season. But Connor McDavid, he is still a pending UFA after this year. So don't worry, he still has 1 year left. If a deal is not complete by the time training camp starts, it's not like he's not going to be playing for the team. He still has 1 year of control with the Oilers. I do imagine, though, I really do imagine that he is going to have that contract signed before training camp starts. I do think it'll be similar to the Leon Draisaitl situation last summer, where Draisaitl put pen to paper. I think it was very beginning of September or late August, he officially signed his extension. I think you're going to see the same thing with McDavid. I know Leon Draisaitl is supposed to be getting married this month, and I know McDavid and Draisaitl and their spouses are very, very close together. They just posted some pictures of them in France, I believe, on Instagram. And not that I care about any of this, but I do think that the organization, they're just letting the boys enjoy their summer. They deserve that. Connor McDavid deserves to just go out and do whatever the heck he wants and have some fun before the grind starts back up, before the Oilers try and make another run to the Stanley Cup final, where hopefully they do not play the Florida Panthers this time. Oh my God, the Florida Panthers, man, I'm telling you, that team is probably the team to beat once again this season. Now, apart from the player situation, what has been going on with the coaching staff? Because we did have some changes here as well. You have Paul McFarland, who is in as an assistant coach, recently coached the Calgary Hitmen of the Western Hockey League of the CHL. You have Peter Aubry being brought in to be the new goaltending coach. Yes, Dustin Schwartz is now gone. Peter Aubry is going to be the goaltending coach, and then Connor Allen is also in as a coach for the Oilers. Now out Glenn Gulletson, he went off and signed with the Dallas Stars to be their head coach. So if the Oilers and Stars meet once again in the playoffs this year, that'll be very interesting. Some fun storylines going on there. Of course, the Oilers have defeated the Dallas Stars 2 years in a row in the Western Conference Final. And of course, they've defeated the LA Kings 4 years in a row in the first round. So there's been a lot of similar matchups in the playoffs over the past few seasons for Edmonton. If you're a fan of any other Western Conference team, you're probably getting sick and tired of seeing the Oilers and Kings and then Oilers and Stars. But as an Oilers fan, I hope they keep playing these teams and I hope they keep on beating them. Dustin Schwartz, I did mention already, he is now gone. Gonzo, see you later. Dustin Schwartz, there's a lot of fan talk about him, a lot of discourse around this specific goaltending coach. He had been with the organization since 2014. He had survived, I think, 8 or 9 different head coaching changes within the organization, but Dustin Schwartz is finally gone, which means maybe, just maybe, there's some hope when it comes to the goaltending situation for Edmonton. And of course, Paul Coffey is also, he is going to be gone. He's no longer going to be part of the defensive coaching team. He will be a special advisor to Daryl Katz, which is what he was before he stepped in to the role with Chris Knobloch when the Oilers hired Chris. Now, going back to the to-do list, I said goalie question mark. I don't think the Oilers are actually going to sign a goalie before the season starts. They did lose a couple of goalies from their system, but we are going to talk about kind of the depth chart and who they have as potential call-up options. Oh my God, am I yawning? Am I yawning? Is this boring? Yo, I'm sure you're all having a great time right now, right? Much more exciting than apparently I'm finding my own video. That's horrible. The Oilers still have $2.3 million of cap space, so if they wanted to tweak a little bit to the lineup, if they wanted to sign a depth piece, they absolutely could. They do have just a little bit of cap space to maneuver and do something. Roster size 21 of 23, so they still have room for 2 more players on the active roster, and then their contract situation, 46 out of 50 contracts, so they still have some room if they want to bolster some depth as well. So we'll see what transpires over the next month or so before training camp opens, but let's kind of take a look at the depth chart situation for the Edmonton Oilers. Now, the depth chart for the Oilers, Nugent Hopkins, Connor McDavid, Zach Hyman, this is kind of how the what I would consider well, not me. This is on Puckpedia. So this is the Oilers depth chart according to Puckpedia. If it were up to me, I would probably have the lines look a little bit different, but just to keep things easy, I'm just going with Puckpedia right here. Nuge, McDavid, Hyman, top line. Podkolzin, Draisaitl, Mangiapane, second line. Frederick, Henrique, Savoy, third line. Howard, Janmark, Kapanen, fourth line. Now, if you are a Savoy or Howard hopeful fan where you're just excited to see those two youngins get into the lineup and have an impact, you want them near that top 6, at minimum top 9. I would like Howard on that third line. I would also not mind Trent Frederick centering that third line. If you had Frederick next to Howard and Savoy, well, Trent Frederick, he's kind of that deterrent. Hopefully nobody's going after the kids. And then Trent Frederick, I think that lets him play a smart 2-way game on the third line. Henrique, probably better suited to a fourth line role at this point. On defense, you have Ekholm with Bouchard, Nurse with Wallman, Kulak with Emberson. I would like to see the team try and improve the right side because I do like Wallman playing his strong side, which is, of course, on the left. Goaltenders, you have Skinner and Pickard. Hopefully under the Oilers' new goaltending coach, Stuart Skinner can find that rookie season form where he was a Calder finalist, finished second in Calder voting, and he had a terrific first year for the Edmonton Oilers, of course, until that first playoff run for him. But again, the playoffs, they're very difficult for a young rookie goaltender to just step in and find a way. But Stuart Skinner, we have seen what he can do. We've seen that potential. Can the new goaltending coach unlock it? Can he get that potential back, or are the Oilers going to have to find a solution to their goaltending situation? Because although the Oilers didn't just lose because of goaltending in 2 consecutive finals, it is obviously a weak point on this team. Not going to hammer any other points home. We all know the goaltending situation. No sense continuing to beat that dead horse, but that is something that I did want to talk about. I am hopeful with a new voice for the goaltending situation behind the bench. Maybe Stuart Skinner can kind of, get back to that rookie season form. In the press box, Curtis Lazar, Tomasek, and Troy Stetcher. We still don't know how Tomasek is going to fit in this lineup for your Edmonton Oilers. Now, if we take a look at some of the extra depth pieces, the Oilers still have Max Jones. They have Josh Szymanski. They have Quinn Hudson, who they signed near the end of last season. He got a couple games in. They have a few players that might be able to push for roster spots. I think at this point in Petrov's career, he is not going to be an NHLer. Roby Yarventi, if he's healthy, there's an off chance that he could push for a roster spot. I'd love to see this kid be healthy just once. And then, of course, on defense, Bo Akey, who a lot of promise, but had a lot of injuries throughout junior. This will be his first year turning pro. Hopefully he can get some good minutes in the AHL and maybe develop into something for Edmonton as at minimum, a potential call-up option. Alec Regula is a very interesting defensive prospect. They picked him up from the Boston Bruins early last season. I thought he was going to be closer to play than he was. He ended up basically being on the injured reserve the entire year, and we'll see if he'll be ready to go in training camp, and no idea what his situation is. Cam Dineen, he stepped in a couple times last season for Edmonton due to injury situations. I like Dineen a lot. He's not someone that's going to come in and be flashy, but he does provide the team just a little bit of extra depth on defense. And then the goaltending situation, they have Connor Unger, Nathaniel Day, Samuel Johnson, and of course, Matt Tompkins. Now, I think Tompkins is kind of going to be that guy to play with Unger, likely, or Day, at least in the AHL. They have Samuel Johnson as well that they drafted. So we'll see how this turns out for the Edmonton Oilers and their goaltending situation, but their goaltending depth is very weak right now. And then on the reserve list, you have Aiden Park, who was just drafted, and he's with the U.S. World Junior Development Team or something. I can't remember what's going on in the U.S. with their World Junior situation, but Aiden Park is down there right now. He is part of that group of development players. And then there's a couple other players here and there for the Oilers. Again, I don't know a lot about these players, so I'm not going to discuss too much about them. But that is kind of the offseason as a whole for Edmonton. That's kind of just a quick update on what's been going on, coaching changes, player changes, and, the different storylines. The Oilers, of course, still have to find a way to sign Connor McDavid. I hope that gets done before training camp opens, because if it is not done before training camp opens, Connor McDavid doesn't seem like someone that wants to deal with contract situations once the season gets going here. But what do you all think? Let me know how your summer has been. Let me know if you have any big plans for the rest of the summer. Let me know what you think the Oilers still have yet to do here. This isn't really a big video or anything, but I did just want to get something out for the fans. Let everyone know that I am still here. I'm working on some changes in this kind of man cave office area, and I'm excited to get back in the swing of things. I love you all, Oil Country. Tell someone that you love them, and as always, fight like a kid. Fight like Ben. Let's go, Oilers. I hope to see you all very, very soon.